You are listening to Mining Stock Education, where you'll learn from the top leaders in the natural resource sector and uncover quality mining investment opportunities.
The sector in general is undervalued relative where the gold price is, and eventually it'll find equilibrium, and I think that's when a lot of our sort of potential catalysts can come to bear, and this could be a pretty exciting story the next 6 months.
I'm Bill Powers. Thanks for tuning in to MSE. And in today's show, we're going to get an update from Fury Gold Mines, one of our longtime sponsors, with Tim Clark, the director and CEO, as well as Bryan Atkinson, the SVP of Exploration. Gentlemen, welcome on to the show. And Bryan, since we last spoke, you've proved up your resource at Eau Claire, but you're not done there. You're going after new targets and new discoveries, both at Eau Claire and specifically your Serendipity target. Can you walk us through this? What do you have planned for this summer?
Yeah, definitely. And thanks for having us again, Bill. Always a pleasure. No, Serendipity is, this target that, we got a little bit of a head start on it with some historical drilling in the region. And we went up there to kind of check it out. And, we found these really good anomalies, sitting on nice structures, but they're, 1.5 kilometers, 2 kilometers away from where the historical drilling was. And the anomalies there are twice the level of what they are over where there was drilling. And the historical drilling had good widths, 12 meters of a gram, 14 meters of 1.4 grams, that sort of stuff. And now we're hoping with these anomalies that are, twice at the tenure of the anomalies over where the drilling was, is that we can, repeat the widths, but get some better grade up there. So these are, it's Fury's first sort of organically growing targets, through our targeting process, reprocessing all the data, getting up there and putting new eyes on this. This is kind of the first shot we've taken at our own targets, and everybody's pretty excited to get up there and get drilling. It's just a small drill program. We've got sort of 6 anomalies, across 5 kilometers that we like. We're probably going to drill the top 3 out of those. And, in the same process, just kind of keep running the other ones through the pipeline to get them drill ready as well.
So it's 3,500 meters of diamond drilling, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Which will start, Monday or Tuesday next week. Yeah.
Okay. Tim, as the lead executive, how do you balance proving out a resource with going after new discoveries? I know if you want to eventually sell a project, you're thinking about what the end buyer would want, but then you also have to deal with the expectations of investors. Talk through your executive philosophy here and why you're choosing to go after new discoveries after having just proven up this resource.
Well, that's a great question, and that's something we sort of talk about on a daily basis. Look, I think there are companies who are totally going out to greenfields, and it's all about new discovery and the big swing. And but what we've got is we actually have a real resource. We've got one of the top 5 resources in our peer group in Canada, and it's going to be an attraction if we can add to it. And so you've got 1.88 million ounces at Eau Claire. We're right on the road, got power, and if we could go out to the rest of the property and have a new discovery or two and show again what we call the sort of string of pearls out there, I think it could be highly attractive, because as a bigger company, you don't just want a resource, you want opportunity for new discoveries, so that, if you buy an asset for 400 or 500 million, it's on its way to 800 or 900 million, not all in. That's all you get with a $400 million purchase. And so from our property, one of the things we started with, under Ivan Bevic was getting big properties so that you're not just stuck in one little corner. What I think people forget is Eau Claire is in the bottom left corner, and we've got 30 kilometers of this Canard deformation zone, and then all this land to the north that was not really worked on in terms of exploration. They looked for some gold signs, but Bryan and his team have spent a couple of years now. And one of the mandates was, when I first came on, was everybody's got to start building a pipeline. And so I think people have seen that we've got 16 different anomalies that have popped up, all with the same signature, same biochem, same everything as Eau Claire. And now we're actually getting to it, and we're actually in the process of potentially really kind of opening up the whole property. And that's been the goal from the beginning.
Bryan, Tim mentioned that the Eau Claire resource is in the top 5 in your peer group in Canada. Can you elaborate on what that means?
Yeah, definitely. We kind of tore through a bunch of companies and had a look, and our grades, our underground grade is over 6 grams. Our open pit grade is well over 4.5 grams, which is, you're seeing resources out there with their underground grades that are that. We've used robust cutoffs, with strong modeling, and we're open in all directions to keep growing. So, with the total number of ounces and then the overall grade is how we compared, to our peer groups. And, Eau Claire sits there, as Tim said, in the top 5, and it's a nice deposit that's got room to grow. But, as explorationists, we want to go out there and make that new discovery. And that's, it's nice to have the support from the corporate team to go out there and, test some of these ideas that we've developed over the years. And what we've learned as we worked up Percival from a prospect into a deposit, what we've learned there, we can apply along the rest of the belt up there, and particularly at Serendipity, and try to make that new discovery.
Tim, you just completed a $5 million charity flow-through raise, and my understanding is that's going towards furthering exploration as well and new discoveries.
100%. So our project right now is for that we're doing right now is $2.5 million, and we're going to have $2.5 million to either throw in right behind it, or if the market's a little bit off, then we have the opportunity because it's flow through charity, to use it next year if you want to. But the idea really is to go after these new discoveries with all that money. We're also going to get drill ready the Eau Claire, and the Eleonore anomaly up in the joint venture, or the old joint venture called Eleonore South. And we're going to do a geochem study up there for $200,000. It's not a lot of money to really target in that area. It's over quite a bit of property. And if we can get in there behind this with a drill, that would be fabulous as well.
And so, Bryan, that is just south of the Eleonore mine, right? The project that you're pursuing there. Talk a little bit about what you're seeing there, please.
Yeah, no, it's I think it ranks really high in our wish list to do, and we just need that one more step here just to tighten it up. Right now, there's about 600 samples over it defining the anomaly. It needs about another 1,800 just to kind of close it up. It's 4.5 kilometers east-west and 1.5 kilometers north-south right now, and we just need to get into that sweet spot. It's the same lithologies that host the Eleonore mine. It's the same structural setting. The geophysics looks very similar, and we've got some 200 times background gold anomalies in the limited work we've done so far. So we're pretty excited to get that completed and get some drills turning on that as well. And again, that's the discovery focus. And now you're instead of we're 14 kilometers away at from an operating mine, in looking for basically the same style of mineralization. So pretty exciting.
And the original resource at Eleonore was about 8 million ounces. Is that right?
Yeah. So there is your dream sheet, right? And you look at through the discovery grades and stuff there, and so we've compiled all that. We're getting a good sense of what success will mean there. Obviously anything over 20 gram meters sort of thing would be a great success. But average Eleonore is producing at just over 5 grams per ton right now. So as long as we're hitting something in that realm, we're going to be pretty happy.
And Tim, some of this 5 million can go towards Eleonore, is that right? Or is that all for?
No. Well, we're doing $2.5 million project right now, which is focused on the Serendipity. We have to wait for a permit to go up to the Eleonore anomaly. So as soon as we get that permit through, the idea was to get the geochem done with the assays back, get up there with a permit and put some drill holes in. I mean, ideally you want to be drilling in the February timeframe. It's a lot easier to go up there in that part of the territory to operate. But because of the pending sale of the Eleonore mine out of Newmont, we feel there's a little more sense of urgency to get up there. Because we don't know what's going to happen with that sale. If there's a big buyer that comes through, I think that their natural second look will be at all our property that's literally next door. And we all know that the Eleonore mine is running at half capacity. It's got about a 6 to 7 year mine life. They're desperate and will be desperate for new ore to put in there, and we'd be a likely candidate. And right now, I think given our valuation with, having the Dolly shares and our enterprise value, we're significantly undervalued. So the idea is if we can bring forward some of these projects early, get some credit for our company valuation, we'd feel a lot better going into the fall if there's a new buyer.
What is the current Treasury at, and what part of that is the Dolly Varden shares you own? So
I think our market cap is about $80 million right now. The Dolly Varden floats between, say, 50, 55, up to 60. It was up to 60 million at one point. I think it's around 53 right now.
Canadian, right? Canadian dollars.
Canadian dollars. And then we've got another $10 million in cash right now. Plus we have some other securities that add up to another couple million. So, our enterprise value is the bottom of the barrel because of this. It's an arbitrage scenario because of how well Dolly is done. There's been relatively low flow into the gold stock. So silver price went up, silver companies went up, but the golds did not run up with the gold price. I think people are waiting for flow for the Fed rate to come down. And if we can get some flows back into the sector, I think we'll get a lot more credibility. And so part of it is, a defensive mechanism for Fury is to be aggressive on the drill bit. And that's where we want to be. And that's what our big investors are telling us to do, is get out there and drill and try and find some real catalysts for the company.
Are you looking to acquire, or at least keeping your eyes open at this point too, Tim?
We're always looking. We've spent a lot of time at it the last year and a half, and a lot of stuff we've passed on. But we're getting closer to some things. We've got a short list of companies and scenarios that we'd like to pursue. And in this environment, I'm a buyer. I am not a seller. I think this company in the last 6 months has even transformed again. As one investor pointed out, he goes, when I met you last time, you had not bought the Eleonore South joint venture that put us in a very, good strategic position on the back of this pending sale from Newmont. And then we also had the resource update, which we had not had. We added over 500,000 ounces. We've brought in some new targets to bear that people haven't been aware of. And we also, I think, are just getting on it in terms of drill discovery and we don't need $5 or $6 million to go out and drill the stuff that we're looking at. So we're going to be super efficient. And I think it could be an exciting fall. This is what we've been working for a couple of years, to position ourselves as a company, and we can go from there. And I also think that this sector in general is undervalued relative where the gold price is, and eventually it'll find equilibrium. And I think that's when a lot of our sort of potential catalysts can come to bear, and this could be a pretty exciting story the next 6 months.
So Fury is a double arbitrage and a double possible discovery play with a proven 2 million ounce resource, right? That's what we're looking at.
We've got a lot of optionality around the company right now, for sure.
Okay. Bryan, up north in Nunavut, you have the Committee Bay project. That's been historically called the bull market project. Anything going on up there?
Yeah, we're going to pop up there quickly this summer. So, one of the successes we had on the most recent program in 2021, it's kind of opened our eyes to some additional exploration potential up there. And, historically, all the focus was on iron formation. It's easy to kind of look at through your magnetics data and go out there, and B, that it's a good place to start in these orogenic belts. So now we're taking a totally different structural approach to it, going up there and looking at shear zones. We've got some well-defined shear zones that have some really good gold coming off of them and hosted within them, and we just want to get out there and tighten some of those up and get ready for another drill campaign up there.
Tim, the project is remote and a lot of money has been sunk into it thus far. Would you consider giving away part of the project in order to fund exploration?
Look, I think you could go out of two ways. You can go, if it's a good market, you go up there and raise a lot of money. And I think Fury's proven that we can raise the money. And we've got Dolly shares, that someday will be monetized. So you could do it yourself. I think it would be great to have a joint venture partner. We've been approached by a bunch of companies looking at it. Last September, we went out to Beaver Creek, and half our meetings were actually about Committee Bay. So one of the things we wanted to do is go up there and do a bit of a follow-up to our drill program in 2021. So Bryan and his guys are going to go up there and take a look at and see, get a little more surface understanding and the proof of concept. And then we're going to bring it out to Beaver Creek this fall and reintroduce a lot of the new material to the same companies that were asking about it last year. The goal being is we really like that property. We've been carrying it for a couple of years. We'd love to go back.
Okay. And Tim, the next catalyst would be the results from Serendipity, or is there something before then that investors should look for?
I think the Serendipity results will come out generally 30 days after we get the holes out. And that should put us sometime in August, early August, late August. Plus, we're going to get the assay results back from our geochem up at the Eleonore anomaly. I'm really looking forward to that because it could be very telling.
Excellent. Well, the company is a show sponsor. Ticker symbol is FURY, Fury, on the big boards in Toronto and New York. And the website is furygoldmines.com. Tim and Bryan, thank you for coming on the show today and providing this update.
Bill, always great to see you.
Yeah, thanks, Bill.